That she was made all over with feces. Lie. Yeah, that's a lot of crap. Now, look, brother, you have your time. That's a lot of crap. Brother, hold on. Get him out of here. Please, get out of here. God bless you and thank you for being my friend.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about the race hustlers as they've showed up in full force at Jordan Neely's funeral. You know, the homeless man who was arrested over 44 times, who was a menace to society. He allegedly kidnapped a child. He also assaulted elderly people. This guy just happened to, unfortunately for him, be choked to death by a Marine, Daniel Penny, who a lot of people are calling a hero, right? Including witnesses who have stepped up and said that, hey, I think that Jordan Neely is a hero. Okay, a so-called woman of color came out and told Fox News that she felt like Jordan Neely was a threat, okay? And that this Marine did the right thing. Now, again, the woke race hustlers like AOC and Al Sharpton, of course they showed up to the funeral because of course they had to get their political photo op. Take a look.
Thank you so very much.
AOC, what do you think about Governor DeSantis calling Penny a good Samaritan?
I think you should read a Bible. Thank you.
Yes. AOC. Oh. There you go. Thank you.
Guys, you gotta keep it back a little bit. Come on.
And Al Sharpton, he gave the eulogy, and again, unsurprisingly, he made it a political rally. Okay, it became a political rally where he openly pushed politics and tried to twist the narrative, twist the story about what actually happened with Jordan Neely. Basically, giving his version of what happened that goes against all the testimony that we've heard so far about the behavior of Jordan Neely on the subway.
When I first got the call about Jordan and later talked with Johnny Green, who is pastor here, and Johnny Green told me of how Jordan's mother was killed. And her funeral was right here. And Jordan sat right there and watched his mother funeralized, who'd been chopped up. And he'd never been the same. Jordan was not annoying someone on the train. Jordan was screaming for help. We keep criminalizing people with mental illness. People keep criminalizing people that need help. They don't need abuse, they need help. There was no weapons, there was no language, nobody was threatened, and you grab them and put them in a chokehold. Two people help hold them down. And you go to the precinct and they let you go. If Jordan was impersonating Elvis Presley, if Jordan had been a different race and they had him impersonating Elvis, and a black guy put Elvis impersonator in a chokehold, and two black guys held him down, they would not have let that black guy leave the precinct that night. Say that the man that killed Jordan was a good Samaritan. Well, and they raised over $2 million for this man. Well, I know, Governor DeSantis, that you putting black history and LGBTQ and Latino out of the school. But I have a Bible to put in the governor's office. Because apparently you don't know what the Good Samaritan was. Jesus told the parable of the Good Samaritan. He said there was a man beaten and robbed, Aunt Mildred, and put by the side of the road. One man walked by that was of his.
Yeah, so you know what I found to be fascinating about this same old song and dance? Is that Al Sharpton shows up to this funeral, okay? He gives his eulogy, a racially charged, politically charged eulogy, because that's what he specializes in. That's the only thing he's good for. And he says, well, if the races here were reversed, if a black man had choked out a white man trying to intimidate Elvis Presley, then they would not have let him get away with it. When I'm just like, dude, over the last 2 or 3 weeks, I just did 2 stories about how you had a black man kill, or black men go out and kill white people just because they were white. And it didn't even get national news attention, okay? Didn't get national news attention. My channel was one of the only channels outside of the local news outlets to cover it, to talk about it. And for whatever reason, people want to believe that if the races were reversed, the guy would not have got away with it. They would not have let him out of the precinct, according to Al Sharpton. When we know that if the races were reversed, that if a black guy choked out a white man, it wouldn't even got national news attention, right? Nobody would have cared, okay? Because that is far more prevalent than the narrative that's being pushed by the mainstream liberal media, right? Like, black on white crime is far more prevalent than white on black crime. But, again, that's not what Al Sharpton is preaching here, right? It's not narrative that's being pushed. This is not grounded in any type of facts or reality. Now, regardless of whether or not you think that Jordan Neely should have died, or that it was justified for the Marine to choke him out, I think we can all agree that the race hustlers only show up, they only care about black lives when they can gain something politically out of it. Because I just did a story just a week ago about an actual positive contribution to the black community. Miss Ariana Preston, who was a Chicago police officer. She lost her life after being ambushed by cowards, thugs, menaces to society, who happen to be black, because allegedly they wanted some barbecue money, right? Again, as if these people actually ever go into a store and actually buy anything. They probably just, steal whatever, okay? But she lost her life. By all accounts, she was a positive contributor to society. She was in school for a master's degree. She was about to graduate. She was, by definition, a strong black woman. And you didn't hear anything from Black Lives Matter. You didn't hear anything from Protect Black Women. You didn't hear anything from race hustlers like Al Sharpton and AOC. When, clearly, when you look at her life versus Jordan Neely's life, whose life do you think was actually a positive contribution to black folks? Because if I had to bet money, I don't think that Jordan Neely was a positive contribution to black people. I think it was a negative contribution. Ariana Preston, on the other hand, was undoubtedly a positive contribution, and she lost her life tragically. I'll argue much more tragically than how Jordan Neely lost his life. She wasn't a threat to anybody. She didn't have a long criminal history. Okay? She was a police officer. She was serving her community. She was a community servant. Again, where was Al Sharpton? Why didn't Al Sharpton give a eulogy at her funeral? Oh, wait. Maybe because there was nothing to be gained politically from giving a eulogy at her funeral. Right? If he gave a eulogy at her funeral, he couldn't blame the white man. The white man was not to blame. The young black men were to blame. Right? So again, when you got to start telling some hard truths about the people who are actually a threat to black lives, right? Statistically speaking, these are just facts. If you disagree with it, I mean, it's not that it's hate or that I'm, selling out or that I'm a Tom. These are just facts, right? If facts are racist, if facts are selling out, then hey, I think you're the one with the problem if you believe that, right? But these are just the facts. There's nothing to be politically gained by telling the truth. You have black people that are losing their lives tragically every single day that are law-abiding citizens at the hands of thugs and criminals. And these same race hustlers are silent. They don't have anything to say until they can gain something from it politically. Like, for example, let's take this story right here of Chicago gang members who went all the way to LA and committed murdered black women. The race hustlers and so-called protect black women are silent on this, unsurprisingly.
Known Chicago gang members suspected in 4 murders in Southern California are finally captured. The investigation and arrests spanning across multiple states. Eyewitness News reporter Sid Garcia is live at LAPD headquarters in downtown LA with the latest developments. Sid?
The suspects and the victims are all from Chicago. The 3 women were murdered in January. The 1 man was killed right before Christmas in last year. All 3 suspects are now awaiting extradition back to Los Angeles. The shooting happened on January 28th in the Beverly Crest neighborhood of Los Angeles. It borders with Beverly Hills. After following leads from the public and ones detectives gathered from witnesses, arrests have been made in connection to the 3 women who were murdered and a man who was shot and killed in North Hollywood last December. The victims and the suspects are all from Chicago. The 3 men in custody are 28-year-old Darius Stanford, 22-year-old Dante Williams, and the 3rd suspect is 28-year-old Dejon Tompkins. Police say all 3 are known Chicago gang members. Police won't say why the 3 suspects traveled all the way from Chicago to Los Angeles to commit the murders. Now, working with the FBI, Chicago, and New York City police, 1 was arrested in Chicago, 1 in Indiana, and the 3rd in Manhattan.
The collaboration and cooperation between law enforcement agencies across the country is crucial in ensuring that those responsible for such brazen acts of violence are brought to justice, no matter where they may attempt to flee.
Stanford and Williams have each been charged with 3 counts of murder and 6 counts of attempted murder. Tompkins has been charged with 4 counts. Along with this case, he's also linked to the murder of Julian Bynum, who was murdered right before Christmas in North Hollywood. The 3 women are 29-year-old Nina Davis, 26-year-old Destiny Sims, and 33-year-old Iyanna Hutton. Police tell us the 3 women rented an Airbnb to follow a Chicago-based rapper. They were murdered in front of the house they were renting. They were not, according to police, the suspect's intended target.
On behalf of the LAPD, we are saddened by this horrible loss of life and hope the arrest of those responsible for these acts will bring some comfort to the families and friends who lost their loved ones.
Again, police didn't want to talk about why the 3 suspects drove all the way to L.A. to allegedly commit the murders. And again, all 3 are awaiting extradition to face justice here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Again, where's protect black women? Right? Where they at? Okay, black women get murdered every single day. Where's protect black women? Nowhere to be found. Where is Al Sharpton? Where's AOC? Where's Crump? Where are all those people at? Again, stories like this happen every single day. They happen so often that we've gotten numb to it. But again, as soon as the race hustlers see an opportunity to make some money, to get some clout, They're all on it. They're going to go to the funeral and try to make out a homeless man that, again, by all accounts, was a menace to society. They're going to make him out to be some type of hero. But actual heroes in the black community, or people who are just regular law-abiding citizens, they don't get no eulogy by Al Sharpton. They don't get hundreds of thousands of dollars raised for them. Again, this is why black people are behind, man. When I say, yeah, we honor the worst among us, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Again, I'm not saying that Jordan Neely didn't deserve a proper funeral and burial. He did, but what makes his life so much more valuable and should be celebrated more so than somebody like Ariana Preston, who was a police officer? By definition, a strong black woman. Why is she not getting the same attention? Why are people not mourning her death the same way that they're mourning Jordan Neely? Why are they not protesting on her behalf? Again, this is why black people are behind. Because our priorities are out of line. If you're a positive contributor to the black community, your life is just simply not worth much. According to black folks, right? I'm just saying. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.